Hey there, friends. This is Caitlin, and Caitlin is time to move her up. Her color stays phenomenally, but it's been about 20 weeks since we bleached her roots out. So we are going to tackle that really huge job today. Her hair is uber thick, and even though she has an undercut, it is a huge undertaking. So stay tuned to see how I tackle taking on this uber amount of hair into a beautiful jewel toned color. Hi, I'm Elyse Rox, and welcome to Hair Toots Light, raw, real, and diverse hair education. I help hairstylists become better hairstylists. Okay, guys, here we go. So we are going to get at it. So I am using Big 9 and Olaplex. And so here I am using cotton. Now I am just working my saturation, and I'm not really even worried about incubating this. Now, okay, guys, so I just actually did Caitlin's hair today, and okay, so either you oversaturate or you undersaturate that line of demarcation, right? You don't want to oversaturate it, right? Because then it's going to be like totally blown out and it's going to look like shit. Or you're like super leery of it and then you undersaturate that area and then you get a line, which is what happened today. So, and also her color stays so well and it was so deep and dark. I had a really, really hard time seeing it as well because her hair stays so good. I'm like, girl, you got to wash this thing a little bit with some hot water or something before you come in. Not that like it's her fault, but still, that little right there, you see where I'm going right there, that line right there, that is a tricky line because on some people's hair, it'll break if you just overlap and you have to be so careful. And that's why I use Olaplex because it's like just a little bit of an extra protective layer. It's like, it's not going to keep your hair from breaking, but if you do overlap a little bit, hopefully it'll just like help get that little bit of protection in there. So we're just going to work in each quadrant, and I'm just using light cotton on Caitlin here. I'm not going crazy with cotton. I really hate wet cotton. Can anybody else like sympathize with that wet cotton feeling? Like, let me know in the comments if you hate wet cotton because I hate wet cotton. So now recently I've been taking these like paper strips by Product Club, and you know that like big hacky thing like that they had in like grade school that like cut the paper and it was like whoosh, and it was like a big hacky thing. Well, anyways, I take those things from Product Club and I like hack them into like 2 or 3 inch squares, and those work awesome. End papers become like boogers just like cotton. Wet cotton is gross. So anyway, so I am working on full saturation here, guys. So as you can see, as I work up to this line of demarcation here, I am fully saturating her hair as I work up towards the top. Now near her scalp is gonna cook really, really, really fast, but I just find with her, as long as I cap it and make sure that I apply saturation towards the line of demarcation, that we are gonna get a super good lift on her. And Big 9 is always a big winner in my books for lifting hair. So it's great for darker hair and thick hair and Olaplex, and it's just a great product. I love it. So we're just going to go in and all these little flyaway hairs. It takes me like a half an hour to 40 minutes to put her lightener on. It's a lot of work. And we probably use like 3 or 4 bowls of lightener. So I'm just working those front pieces in. And so this time she wants to take out some of the blue and purple. So we all know that this shit is going to go green, okay? So you can already see it turning green. So green, other side of the color wheel is pink. And then that's just annoying. So that's just going to neutralize. But if my pink is stronger than my hue, hey friends, don't blame those that try and fail. Blame those that fail to try is one of my favorite phrases, and I love to stand by this for my LifeStylist coaching program that I am launching at the end of the month. And I would love for you to get some of my cancellation policies, some of my forms that I use. You can go ahead and click the link in my description and you can get any of my freebies that I have there. And I would love for you to join me in my free webinar that I am having as well at the end of the month. As you can click the link in the description. Okay, so as long as my pink back to what I was saying, as long as my pink was darker than my green. So I did tone her a little bit with some red to try and kick some more of that green out that we got at the bowl, and just in the front because it's the only spot she wanted to do it in. So I did get a good result by doing this. So just trying to kick some more of that out of there, and then I'm going to go over it with this pink hue and just really get it in there. So you can see it looks like mud in some of those spots, but my pink like depth of color is deeper than the level of green. And so if we get a couple darker spots, it's okay. We will eventually transition this over and it'll be fine. People with Vivids know that like this is just not like 100% always. And like after a couple washes, it all starts to blend together. So this is, some of this color is So Cult. I think a lot of it is, but they've changed everything. So I don't know. Use what you want when it comes to Vivids. It's somebody tell me that like, oh, how dare you not tell me what you're using. Look, use what you want, okay? Like lighten with what you want, color with what you want. If you're happy with something and the texture of something and you like working with that, then use with what you want. It doesn't matter what I use. Use whatever you feel you get a good result with. So haven't even been using Soul Cult at all. I've been using a lot of Funk Hue from Oligo, and I've been using a lot of Magix 10. So between those two, I've been totally working out with those. So I was saying I did not like something that was going on, so I stopped and rinsed it off because it was not covering. So I halted. So I saw that it wasn't working, and I went with a different color underneath. So sometimes that happens, and like I hate having to pull color out all the time because bleaching it and bleaching it and bleaching it, even though they all say, oh, we're like, you know, we're not a bleach, we're a color remover. They're all persulfates, and they're all like penicillin and amoxicillin. They're like cousins, and there's still persulfates, and they still lighten the hair. So here we're going in with some black coloring, and I'm just kind of like taking big, thick sections because she kind of wears her hair in a bob, so you're not going to see a lot of the color anyways because it's going to be underneath, and she doesn't wear her hair up. She wears it down. So really we concentrate on the pizzazz part on the top of her hair, and we just put some colors for dimension underneath, and if she brushes her hair, you'll see different colors as well with movement. So like I said, she does have a metric ton of hair. And like I said, this is some tones, and sometimes they switch around with colors. So some colors have deeper, richer tones. And like they were mucking around with stuff, and I couldn't get the colors. And so you get what you can get sometimes. So sometimes I use a mix of different lines. So it's not who pays me, it's what I can get my hands on at the time, especially like after COVID. It was super hard to get stuff, and sometimes the beauty supply, if I'm not going with a line that I order direct, even then, so like it's really hard to get stuff. So as you can see, I'm working on a diagonal back because I love the way it falls when her lob, whatever, is kind of like falling down. And I put the foils in the front. And you could use those foam papers or whatever, but I just like the foils because it's just like chuck it and forget about it. Now I am going to get a different tone there on the ends because that tone of blue is there, and whatever it's going over is going to add to your final result, but it's going to be fine. It's always fine. It always makes a secondary tone, but it's cool. It's going to look great in the end. I'm not worried about it. People with Vivids know you just can't always be stripping shit out and putting shit back in. You're not going to have any hair left. Like I said, bleach is bleach. So now we're going to go in with some blue, some really dark jewel tones, and these are just going to go back again on the diagonal back. I did her hair exactly the same way today. It just falls so nicely when it's like a bob, and then like the pieces aren't like straight, so it doesn't look like, you know, 1990s like Kelly Clarkson chunks on her head. So it doesn't leave like stripes like that. It just looks a lot softer because the other pieces like fall upon the top of it. Just think about like when we do even just like a blonde and like a soft color melt around their face, and you just want to like soften it up, so you do it on a diagonal back. So like diagonals create softness, where like straight lines create more harshness, whether they be diagonal or horizontal. They're going to create more harsh lines, so you're going to get more bold color than if you do a diagonal. So diagonals are the way to go with that. So I always have my assistant put towels down on the floor because I make a mess, and my floor is like really freaking expensive. It's like a purple glitter floor, and it's pretty amazing, but it is also really expensive, and these direct dyes stain it. So I always have towels on the floor because my saturation is heavy. I use a ton of saturation with my colors, and that's why my colors are so vibrant and so just like hello in your face and bright. And you see the way I work that brush back and forth and work that color through. So here is Caitlin before. There's her roots, there's her color. Her color stays amazing. She's like a top-notch star when it comes to that. And I keep her hair healthy. And here is the after. So your hair is always gonna stay super healthy when the hair integrity and the color is gonna stay great when the integrity of the hair is there. So guys, if you like and appreciate my content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to find me on the Instagram or the TikTok or any place else. And if you love this video, I have so many others for you to watch. And don't forget to watch the long format. So guys, check out this video right here. And guys, don't forget to hit the ding dong. Thanks guys, and we'll see you later.